everybody, welcome back to another PE at home video. I trust you've been keeping busy over the last few days with all of your home learning work. Let's see what we've got in store today for our PE lesson. The activity we're doing today is called Cross the River, and this is a problem solving activity, and that means it works on our thinking skills. Thinking skills are really important because it helps us tackle a challenge that might be tough. It helps us think of ways in which we might be able to solve that challenge. To be able to do this activity, we're going to need to find ourselves a space. Ideally, a long space would work better. Then, once you've got your space, you need to mark out a river. Now, I'm going to use a towel at one end of the river and a towel at the other end of the river, just like you can see in the video. Then, once you've got your river set up, we need to think of an animal that lives by the river. Do you know what animals live by the river? I'm looking for a frog to play Cross the River. You haven't seen one, have you? No? Oh. I don't know what happened there, but I'm sure we can pretend to be a frog anyway for this activity. Now listen carefully to the next video, where I explain what you need to do for the first challenge in Cross the River. You're going to need to get yourself 2 cushions because these are going to be lily pads. Lily pads are what frogs jump on when they are in the river. Now you need to think about how you can cross the river using these 2 lily pads. How can we get all that way by just using 2 cushions? Once you've had a thought about how you can use these 2 cushions to cross the river, have a look at the video. Did you think of the same way I did? Well done, fellow frogs, if you managed to think of a way similar to mine of how to cross the river and solve the problem. Now, if you do fall off your lily pad, you must pick up your lily pad, take it back to the start and try again. It's all about keeping good balance. Well done if you managed to get from one side of the river to the other side without falling in the water. Why not get someone else in your house to time you 60 seconds and see how many times you can do this activity? Have a listen to the next video where I explain activity 2. So for activity number 2, we're going to make things a little bit trickier by creating an obstacle that we need to go around. Now for the obstacle, I'm going to use a slipper and a shoe. Once you've got these, go and put them in the middle of your river. Then, all that hopping and jumping around makes us hungry, so we need some frog food. Not actual frog food. I'm going to use some rolled up pairs of socks as my frog food. Once you've got them, place them at the end of your river. Then, take your lily pads from before, go back to the start line, and you've got to now get around the obstacles to pick up your frog food. Once you pick up your frog food, take it back to the start of your river, and then see how much frog food you can get. I want you to think about how you're going to change your style compared to the first activity, because remember the first activity didn't have any obstacles, whereas this one has got lots of obstacles in the river. Where are the new spaces in your river now? How are you going to get into those spaces? How are you going to get out of those spaces? Remember, get as much frog food as you can so it can fill those froggy tummies. Think about the different pathways that we can go. Are you always going the same way, or is there another way that you might be able to go? Super frog hopping, well done for creating different pathways and thinking of different ways to get around the obstacles and to the frog food. Now, before we go on to challenge 3, I just wanted you to think about how we place the pillows on the floor. Do we place them close together or do we place them wide apart? Which is the best way? What happens if they are too far apart? That's right, if we place them too far apart, we might fall into the river and create an almighty and we don't want that. So think carefully about how far or how close you are putting your pillows. Make sure you can reach them with your feet. Right, it seems like you're getting the hang of it, which is great. So let's have a look at activity number 3. So activity number 3 is similar to the one that we've just done. We're still having obstacles in the river and we're still having frog food at the end of the river. You might want to add more obstacles in to make it even trickier. This time though, instead of carrying your frog food back with your hand, you're going to place it on your head. So you need to balance your frog food all the way back to the start of the river. Ooh. And there we go, that is all 3 activities in today's PE at home lesson. I hope it's giving you lots to think about. Maybe there are different ways of moving like another animal, or maybe there's different ways of creating obstacles. I don't know. Be creative, have fun, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.